Welcome to the Buckle Down to the Common Core training video. This video will provide you with an in-depth view of the ELA product. You have an opportunity to view important details and highlights of the student edition. We are very excited about this product and believe it will be a huge help in transitioning teaching and student learning to the Common Core state standards. Buckle Down to the Common Core was developed to be a transition from the state-specific standards to teaching and learning the Common Core standards. To help with this transition, the books include a chart that lists the Common Core standards that are covered in each lesson, as well as the state-specific standard that correlates. If a school is currently using the Buckle Down state-specific product, the Common Core can be used in tandem to provide flexibility in the transition. Educators are feeling very confused and unsure of what to expect with the Common Core, and they're asking us a lot of questions. In an effort to support the teachers in every way we can, we have included a Common Core FAQ page in every book. Among other things, these questions address how and why the Common Core will cover each skill in a deeper manner. The great thing about the Buckle Down product is that its original development was based on a holistic approach and teaching concepts within context, not in isolation. This is a huge focus of the Common Core, so if you are already familiar with the format of Buckle Down lessons, it will be an easy transition. Finally, at the end of the book, the students will have access to the Mechanics Toolbox. This is a new feature of the Buckle Down books and serves as a handy reference guide. What better way to learn about this product than to take a detailed look at the pages in the student edition? It may be helpful for you to follow along and make notes on your copy of the Buckle Down to Common Core book. You may also want to go back and pause to reread the callouts which pop up on each page to see further highlights and important features of the product. In this video, I will review a Grade 4 book based on the Common Core national standards. The structure and layout of a state-specific Buckle Down to Common Core book is exactly the same. The only difference between the national and state-specific books is a correlation chart outlining where the state-specific correlates. Looking at the table of contents, you'll notice that the lessons are grouped into units according to the strands of the Common Core state standards. Since the Common Core puts a lot of emphasis on writing, the Buckle Down book has beefed up the writing section to provide students with a lot more instruction and support in the area of writing. Students are expected to engage, think about, apply skills, and respond to passages in a thoughtful, written manner. Speaking and listening is also included in this book, and we'll get more into detail with that later. Being familiar with the previous Buckle Down books, you'll notice that the Common Core books have the same lesson components. Each unit begins with an introduction to the unit theme. Since this is focused on the Common Core, we have an introduction to the Common Core strand theme. Then there is a list of the lessons that are covered within this unit. As we get into a lesson, you will see that each concept is taught through a series of tips, practice, and application via a passage. As mentioned on slide 2, concepts taught throughout the Buckle Down books are not taught in isolation. Rather, they are integrated throughout multiple lessons and units. I'd like to take a deeper look at how Buckle Down to the Common Core does this specifically with the topic of main idea. You can't have a single lesson on main idea and move on to another skill. Main idea is connected to multiple other skills, and to understand main idea and how it works within a passage, you need to understand other corollary skills. Common Core doesn't want students learning a skill like main idea and then answering multiple choice questions about that specific concept. Instead, Common Core expects students to understand how main idea works in context, how it is related to other skills, and how you use those skills to become a better reader and a better writer. A typical state standard for main idea will ask students to identify main idea and supporting details in an informational passage. Common Core takes that standard a few steps further, and in addition, the standard asks students to determine theme and central idea, and analyze its development over the course of text, including its relationship to characters, setting, and plot, and provide an objective summary of the text. Common Core integrates main idea into multiple standards. The Buckle Down to the Common Core book has that approach as well. It integrates main idea into a number of lessons and a number of concepts. In Lesson 3 of the Grade 4 book, you will find the first introduction of main idea. In typical Buckle Down fashion, the main skills of main idea are taught through a series of tips. Tip 1 is the basic introduction. Tip 2 and 3 help the students to identify the main idea within a passage. We get into more depth as the tips continue and the students are exposed to the corollary skills that are important for understanding main idea, asking students to summarize, make inferences, and draw conclusions throughout the passage relative to the main idea. Once the students have reviewed the instruction for the concept and completed the practice relative to each tip, they end the lesson with a unique passage and 8 review questions. Since we are still transitioning from state standards format to Common Core format, we have included a combination of multiple choice and short response questions for the students to answer. So we just reviewed a lesson that is completely focused on main idea, but I want to point out how Buckle Down to the Common Core integrates main idea into several lessons and concepts throughout the book. If we flip forward through the book to Lesson 6, Story Elements, you'll notice that Tip 5 within this lesson refers to the main idea. This part of the lesson is focused on the story element plot and asks students to decide who or what is mixed up in the problem. Both practice questions for this tip involve the main idea of the passage. Paging through the book again to Lesson 9, there's an emphasis on main idea and even in the speaking and listening unit in Lesson 23. Students are expected to know, understand, and apply main idea. Students are provided with the opportunity to learn and apply concepts to a variety of lessons and text genres to help them have a full understanding of each concept. The style and format of Buckle Down to the Common Core aligns perfectly with the standards and strands of the Common Core. Now that you understand how the Buckle Down to the Common Core book is formatted, I want to take a deeper look at the speaking and listening unit, since this is a new strand within the Common Core standards. Although speaking and listening are difficult concepts to learn by working in a work text, Buckle Down to the Common Core incorporates teacher instruction to provide an authentic speaking and listening environment. Speaking and listening is made up of 3 components: listening, discussing, and speaking. Listening encourages students to be active listeners, to take notes, and to engage in what they were hearing, so they can then answer questions about what they heard in a written form. Discussing is not specifically tested, but it is emphasized by the Common Core and expects students to be broken into small groups and intensively discuss literature with their peers, using that discussion to help them better understand key ideas. Finally, speaking is meant to prepare students to give an oral report. It's a step-by-step outline of the key aspects of getting your information, speaking clearly, making eye contact, and so on. Throughout the listening lesson, you'll notice the tips walk the students through the aspects of being an active listener. The students are taught to listen for the main idea, take brief notes paraphrasing the speaker, notice what they see, not just what they hear, and to consider how the speaker supports their claim. At the end of the listening lesson, the teacher is supposed to read a brief passage. While she's reading, the students are encouraged to take notes as they listen. The students are also provided with a listening checklist as a reminder of how to be a good listener. Then the students have to answer open-ended questions about what they heard when they were listening. In the discussing lesson, the students are being prepared to discuss ideas in small groups. They are provided guidance and key information to help them understand what it means to be a part of a group discussion. They learn information on how to be prepared, be involved, ask questions, and answer others. Let others' ideas add to your understanding, summarize the ideas of discussion, and more. The teacher then breaks the students into groups and each member is assigned a specific role. The groups will read, discuss, and answer questions about a provided passage, and then they will present their group's response to the class. The students can refer to the discussion checklist to ensure that they are acting as members of a good discussion group. Finally, in the speaking lesson, the students will prepare to give an oral report. They will learn how to choose a topic, prepare a speech, incorporate pictures and graphics, speak clearly, and more. The idea is that you build up your skills through each tip, and each tip builds on your previous tip. In order to practice, the students are provided with a topic and passage and are asked to plan a speech to present to the class. And of course, the students are given another checklist to use as a reference when planning their speech. The last thing I want to cover in the Buckle Down to the Common Core book is the Mechanics Toolbox at the back. This is a new resource included in the Buckle Down books. The purpose of the Mechanics Toolbox is to provide students with a handy grammar reference guide. Since the Common Core puts great emphasis on writing, students need to know and understand basic grammatical skills. They will be expected to construct clear and succinct writing passages, and they will be graded on their grammar and mechanics. Writing and using grammar correctly is very important, and this will be a big change for teachers and students when transitioning to the Common Core standards. The Buckle Down to the Common Core Teacher's Guide not only provides teachers with an answer key, but they receive an introduction to the Common Core state standards that will help teachers understand the specific expectations. Also included is a chart that correlates the Common Core standards to the appropriate lesson in the student edition. A special state-specific alignment grid is available at triumphlearning.com and shows the connections between the state standards, the Common Core state standards, and the lessons within the student edition. We hope you have found this training video to be informative and helpful. We appreciate you taking the time to learn about Buckle Down to the Common Core and how it can effectively help teachers and students transition to the Common Core standards. For more information about this product and to review the books for all grades, visit buckledown.com and select your state. Thank you.